You're going to need a blanket and a belt for your practice today. And just settling in here, you're just sitting the hips back, put a blanket under your knees if that feels better. And just come down and rest your head on your hands. And just right away, kind of feel yourself start to soften. And take note of a few things, noticing how your legs are feeling in this shape and your lower back. Notice the sides of your body as you come up towards your upper back. And notice how your shoulders feel, and just kind of focus on a few deep breaths here, listening to your body's response to your breath. So in our practice today, I'd like us to try to take kind of a 360-degree view of everything that we're doing. We tend to get really focused on the specifics, but this 360-degree idea is being sensitive to everything else that's responding. So we might be doing a lunge and you're thinking, wow, my legs are on fire, but then notice how your upper body's feeling. Notice your breathing, notice where your head is. Just kind of step back a little bit and observe yourself impartially. So stay in your child's pose, but lift up and take your arms ahead. Place your hands wide on the mat in front of you and sink back down into it, creating a little more stretch sensation in your back and your shoulders. And just breathe into that. And again, initially we might be noticing a lot in the upper back and shoulders, but notice too how your hips are responding, how your ribs feel, back of your neck. And then we'll look up again, still in child's. Just walk the hands off the mat to the right, come into a side bend here. And again, just carefully sinking into it and taking that observation. Of course, we're going to notice the things that are talking the loudest at first. So maybe feeling the opposite side ribs kind of flaring out. And then walk back across your mat and go the other way. And just finding length into your side body. And kind of thinking about all those parts that are involved, your arm and how it sits in the shoulder, all the muscles of the back that are getting a stretch, your ribs and the serratus muscles between the ribs, your hips and your legs. And come on back into the middle. Take an in-breath and slowly come up. Let the head come up last. Just kind of peel yourself back up. And then we'll switch around and lay down on your back. And just settling on your back in the shape of Shavasana, arms down, legs down. And so with this idea of the 360-degree view, let's begin to work with a square breath today right away. So the square part is that it has 4 parts that are equal. Inhale, pause, exhale, and pause. And I'll get you started on it. So we'll start with a count of 4 for each of the 4 parts. We'll lengthen it every couple of breaths. So take a breath out. And then inhale to 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause 4, 3, 2, 1. Going to 5. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Going to 6. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You keep going. You might stay with that count of 6, or you might want to make it longer or shorter, whatever feels right for you today. But just balancing out the sides. And so we've been working with a square, which implies corners. Maybe keep following that pattern, but soften the corners so there's less of a dramatic switch from one part to the next. One more full round of breath here. And next time you breathe out, just let it go. Let go of managing the breath. Allow your breath to find its own rhythm. And just having a sense of that sort of never-ending pattern of our breath, which is a truth. It is something that constantly goes on and we're not really conscious of. Bringing our awareness to it today. Okay, so let's begin to come back to moving the body again. Take the arms up overhead, lengthen up, take your legs apart and your arms apart, coming into starfish. And just take a few good morning stretches here, lengthening on the inhale, letting it go on the exhale. And each time you move back into the stretch, just exploring, maybe wiggling your hands, pushing out with one heel and then the other. A little bit of twisting, side bending, whatever feels intuitive and helpful. Trying to get some length back into our bodies. All right, now keep the arms overhead and the legs down, but bring the arms together and bring the legs together. And we'll come into a side bend to the right. So pick your shoulders up and take them towards the right corner of your mat. Arms going to the right, and then take your feet to the right corner of your mat. Maybe hooking the left ankle on top. And just focus on the sensations here, noticing the effect of the breath in the left side of your body. And so we are going to focus a fair bit today on finding the sides of the body. We tend to be very aware of our back bodies. It gives us a lot of feedback. We're very aware of our front bodies, our hip flexors, our quads. And sometimes we are sort of too absorbed in those sensations, front and back, and we need to focus a little bit on the sides too. So just notice what you're finding down the side of your left body, your ribs, your IT band, and just appreciating all the work and the arrangement of everything that's in the left side, that everything that's working silently for us. Okay, and then bring yourself back into the middle of your mat and build it the other way, shifting the shoulders and arms towards the left, taking the feet to the left, hooking the right ankle on top. And if it's not feeling the same, make a change, either back up a little bit or go a little further with the feet until you feel lots of sensation balancing out the right side of your body. And this can go one of two ways. It can start to calm down, or it can start to build, depending on what's going on in your body. And then we'll unwind that and come back into the middle of your mat. And find your belt now. And we'll take the legs up into the air, both legs up, and put the belt on the balls of your feet. So it could be a belt, it could be a strap, a bathrobe tie, tea towel, whatever you have. And then right away, come on into straddle, taking the legs wide apart. And just getting the legs wide enough that you feel sensation in the inner thighs. And do a little bit of pedaling here, bending one knee and then the other, and just opening out into the insides of your legs. Maybe a little rocking side to side. Not being in a rush, so when you rock to one side and you really feel that adductor, the inner line in the leg, just pausing there and noticing it. So in traditional Chinese medicine, they work with what's called meridians, which are lines or connections or communication venues through our bodies. And this meridian in the inner leg is to your urinary bladder and your liver and your kidneys. So some pretty important organs. And it connects down the inner leg and underneath the foot and to the little toe. So just check in on sensation. If it feels like it's calmed down a little bit, you might choose to go a little wider again. And just pull on your belts, bring the feet back together. We'll keep the right leg in and take the left leg out. And then bring that right leg across your body, come on over into a twist to the left. So just rolling over onto your left hip. And maybe opening the right arm to the right. And now finding another side line down the side of your right leg and out through your right shoulder. And this is another meridian. This is your gallbladder meridian. And it connects down the side of your leg, the side of your ribs. It connects with your lungs, down the side of your ribs and the side of the leg and down and across your foot to your big toe. So we're not really aware of these meridians unless we've studied that science, but you can certainly feel the physical connective tissues and the muscles and the joints in that line. Okay, let's bring the right leg back up and switch your feet, get your left foot in the belt. And right away, come on over into the twist to the right, rolling onto your right hip. Again, finding that long external line up the left side of your body. And you can play a little bit, bend your knee, straighten your knee, rotate your ankle. And just checking in on this connection. Externally in the body, this is a long line of fascia, that connective tissue that wraps around everything. But knowing too that those inner lines, those meridians are following the same path. And these are the lines that are used for acupuncture. All right, let's bring that leg back up. And just set your belt aside. Lift your legs up in the air, and we'll take the right thigh over top of the left thigh. Cross the legs quite high up, so coming into eagle legs. And bend your knees a fair bit, and maybe get the toes of the right foot behind the left. Take your arms out from your sides. And we'll just do some rotations here. So rolling over onto your right hip. Take the knees over to the right, maybe turn your head to the left. And start to notice your side body in the left side. Bring the knees back up to the top. And then exhale and take them over to the left, rolling onto your left hip. Moving with your breath, inhale back up to the middle, exhale over to the right. Inhale back up to the middle, and exhale over to the left. So we're finding the outsides of our hips and our thighs. Also, you can feel with the legs tangled up like this, the inner thighs. And so really feeling both inside and outside of the legs. Okay, let's unwrap your legs and we'll go the other way. So legs up and take the left leg over top. Wrap up the legs, start by rolling to the left. And then inhale, bring the knees back up, and exhale, take the knees over to the right. And just going back and forth a few times. Just being very aware of the outer thigh and the inner thigh. And come on out of that, unwrap your legs, and we'll come into bound angle, soles of the feet together, knees hanging wide apart. Get everything touching on the feet, all the toes, all the heels. And take your arms out from your sides with the elbows bent. So elbows on the floor, hands in the air. Make a little fist with your hands. And then push the feet into each other so you feel those inner thighs working. And at the same time, push the elbows down into the floor and feel your back working. And then exhale and release it. Good. So inhale, squeeze the feet, push the arms into the floor, maybe lift the hips slightly off the mat. And exhale and release. So we're just pumping the blood into those inner thighs. A couple more times. Inhale, squeeze. Push it down. Exhale, release. And inhale, squeeze. Exhale, release. Do one more time. Good. And then release all of that, reach down, hug your knees, bring all the sides back together, and just rock a little bit on your back. And roll up to sitting up. Good. We're just sitting cross-legged. And we'll bring the arms out in front and connect the fingertips again. So just finding those 5 points of connection, bring the palms of the hands together. Try to keep the shoulders down. Take an inhale and open the arms up like a big window opening up. Beautiful. Exhale, bring the hands back together. And inhale and open up again. Lengthen back, arms going back behind you. And exhale back together. So as we open here, feeling the chest muscles and feeling your side ribs and everything else that's involved. One more time. Lovely. Let's take your left hand down and reach the right arm up overhead, and then come into a side bend to the left. So just hanging over here and really opening up that left side or right side. Try to keep your head looking forward and keep the arms soft like a little umbrella. And then inhale and wave it back up, and exhale and come back over again. So really picking up sensation of the side body. Ooh. Good. Inhale and bring the right hand down to the mat, and exhale, take the left arm up. Reach up nice and high and soften all the way over to the right. And just pause for a moment so you really feel the connections all up the sides. Serratus muscles, the muscles down into the hip, your TFL, your shoulder. And inhale and wave it up. And exhale and go back again. Inhaling and exhaling. Exploring the sides. And then come back up, and we'll take your left hand to your right knee, and the right arm is behind you, and then sit really tall and just start to rotate around your spine, especially feeling the movement in the rib area. Unwrap a little as you breathe in and grow tall again, and then breathe out and twist again. And so really finding the sensations in the rib area, the thoracic spine, and the serratus muscles between the ribs. Okay, and then just go the other way. So right hand on your left knee, sitting tall, exploring the sides. And then come back to the front and just take your hands down to your legs, maybe to your mat, and start to round forward. So just letting your head come down, kind of putting the sides back together. You can walk the hands ahead, folding over, supporting yourself with your hands, or if you can get to your elbows, supporting there. And just let your head rock side to side. However far you're over in this is fine. You don't have to match a certain form. And then bring yourself back up. And we'll come into straddle in a seated position. So take your legs wide apart. And just get wide enough that you already feel sensation in the inner thighs. And start a little bit of rocking side to side. Just exploring that inner line of the leg again. So again, this is your urinary bladder, liver, and kidney meridian. I'm really finding that intense. So come on over to your left leg. Take both hands onto your left leg. Put them on the outside of the leg, wherever you can, the thigh, the knee, the calf, and turn and face the leg and then fold over and just deepen the sensations. I'm finding stretch in the back of the leg, but also a lot of sensation in my right side ribs. Good. Come on back up. Take your left hand and tuck it underneath your calf or your ankle, whatever you can get to. Reach the right arm up and side bend over. So my chest is facing forward, eyes are forward. I'm just reaching towards that foot. You might be here and that's it. That's okay. Really lengthening up the side body, like you're taking your shirt up a size. Bring that all back up. We'll turn towards your right leg. And again, just fold over it initially. You feel the back of the leg. Take the hands on the outside of the leg and add a little twist, turning towards it. Pulsing in and out. And come back up and take your right hand, scoop it underneath your calf or your ankle, and then lift the left arm up. Whatever amount. Just sliding that right arm down inside the leg, if that's accessible, and reaching long. And bring that all back up too. Now take your right foot to the inside of your left thigh. Okay, so the left leg is straight out, the right foot is tucked against that thigh. And then turn towards your left leg again and fold over. And kind of the same pattern. So we're going to take the outside of the thigh or the calf and just fold until you start to feel sensation on your right hip. And come back up and we'll do the side bend version. So the left hand goes underneath the leg, reach up with your right arm and side bend over. And always respecting whatever you're finding. If your knee is not happy with this, don't go too deep. But really waking up the side body. And come on back up and we'll change the legs. So right leg forward or out and left leg tucked in. I'm getting little creaky things happening in my legs and hips today. It's all good though, releasing tension. And fold over your right leg. Leaning in. And then come back up and take your right hand inside your right calf or your ankle, whatever you can get to, reaching the left arm up and side bending over. Really getting into the upper hip on the left side. That's a little muscle called your tensor fasciae latae, TFL. And then come on back up. Good. And then let's bring the soles of the feet together, coming into bound angle again. Hold on to your legs. And just resetting. After we do single-sided work, I like to kind of reset in the middle. So pick your chest up, pull the shoulders into your back, and maybe try to push the knees a little more towards the mat. And really feel those inner thighs again. And then exhale, let the knees come up and round your back, sitting back into a seated cat. Chin coming down to the chest. Inhale and lift again, lifting the heart, squeezing your back. Exhale and round. Inhale, lifting up. Leaning in, exhale, rounding back. One more time. Good. Bring your knees back in. Okay. Let's come around onto your hands and knees. Walk your feet down to the bottom of your mat and walk your hands as far ahead as you can reach. So spreading the palms wide and pull back into puppy pose. And today, because we are thinking about the sides, add a little wiggle of the hips left and right. So you start to pick up sensation in the side of your waist and your ribs. Just shimming the hips left and right. And then lift up, and we'll take the hands off the mat. Still in puppy, but hands wider than the mat. And sit back down again. And start to feel those meridians in the inner arm and the outer arm. Good. And then we'll walk the hands back in. Curl your toes under, lift up into downward facing dog. Stay in your downward dog for a bit. It's finding the connections in the back body. And we're going to stay standing on your right foot, but bend your left knee and bring the left leg underneath the right. So the left foot is coming over to off the mat on the right side. And then take that foot up as high as you can on the floor and straighten your left knee and stay in your downward dog. So still pressing the chest towards the mat and finding that outer line in the side of your left leg. That's your IT band. Okay, bring the left foot back, reset, bend your right knee, slide the right foot under, take the foot up as high as you can and straighten the knee and then reset in your downward dog. So you're really finding that connection there. Lots going on here. And then come on back and reset in your downward facing dog. Just take a moment there for the sides to come back together. And then bring yourselves down to your knees. I'm going to turn sideways to face towards you. You can stay with your mat vertically. One of the beauties of being in your own home, you can do things just about any way you want. We're going to take your left leg out to the left. And then reach the arms up overhead. Reach up high. Lengthen up the side body. Add that little wiggle. Really feel those side body parts, the ribs, the waist. And then take your left hand to your left leg and we'll come into another crescent moon. Just side bending over towards the left. So really opening up your right side. Whatever amount. And then inhale, bring the arm back up and exhale, take that right hand down to the mat. You want to make sure it's right under your shoulder and lift your left leg up, opening up into gate. And really feeling the work in that left hip. If it's cramping, bend your knee, come back into it. Good, and then turn towards that end of the mat, bring your hands down and come back into downward dog again. Bring your knees back down, turn and face towards the camera again, and we'll work on the other side. So balancing on your left knee, take the right leg out. And try to walk the right foot as far out as you can and have the pinky side of your foot connecting. Take the arms up and lengthen up. Add the wiggle. Get those side ribs to open. And then take your right hand to your right leg and walk it down as far as you can and side bend over to the right. And again, just that soft sort of umbrella shape with your arm. Trying not to let the arm go ahead of you, but keeping it right above you. And just keep exploring. See how far down you can go. And then inhale, come on back up and take the left hand down, make a big handprint on the mat and lift your right leg up and open up with the right arm. And I'm getting a cramp. There we go. Lifting the heart. Feeling the sides working. Now turn towards that end of the mat and come into downward dog. Bring your knees back down, back to facing forward again. Sorry, the mic wants to fall off today. Just make sure it's securely on. Let's come back to the left side. So take your left leg out to the left, walk the toes out, And then this time we'll bring the hands forward onto the floor in front of you and shift forward so you're right above your hands. We're going to open both sides up here. So turn to the left initially, reach the left arm up and just lengthen up. Take the arm back behind you. And then exhale, bring the left hand down, bend your right knee and pull the hips back so you're opening into that inner meridian line in the left leg. And then inhale, shift forward, and we're going to twist the other way. So keep the left hand on the floor, look to the right, and take the right arm up. And just find this cross-lateral connection against the inner thigh on the left leg and the inner arm on the right arm. Exhale, and bring that hand down, and bend the right knee and sink back again. Inhale, opening up to the left, so the easy side, reaching up. Exhale the hand down and sinking the hips back. And then inhale, shift forward and open up to the right, reaching up with the right arm, feeling that left inner thigh really give you some feedback. Exhale and bring it down. Do one more time each way. So sinking the hips back. Inhale, shifting forward, sweeping up to the left. Feels like flying. And exhale the left hand down, bend the right knee, sink back. Inhale, shift forward and open up to the right. And exhale and bring that hand down. Let's just bring the left knee back in. Come back up onto your knees and take your right leg up to the right. Walk your hands ahead again. And then we'll turn to the right, so the easier side, reaching up with the right arm. Take a moment here, maybe let the arm go back behind you, kind of exploring the shoulder and your sides. And then bring the right hand back down, bend your left knee and sink back. Inhale, shift forward, and we'll go the other way. So we're going to pick the left arm up off the floor, open to the left, and really find that deep cross-lateral connection into the right inner thigh. And exhale that hand down, bend your left knee and sink your hips back. Inhale, shift forward, opening up to the right. You just float up on this side. Exhale the hand down, bend your left knee, sink the hips back. And inhale, shifting forward and opening up to the left, reaching up, whatever amount. And exhale back down and sinking back. One more time each way. Inhale, sweeping up to the right. Exhaling down, pulling back. And inhale and opening up to the left. And bring that down. And pulling back. Bring your hands back in. Bring that right knee back in. And now let's find your blanket. So whatever you've got, could be a towel or a blanket. And we're going to move into frog pose. We want to open it up, fairly wide rectangle, and start to fold it a couple of times. Maybe roll it. So you've got a baffle, something like this. Okay, I'm just going to put that down on the side edge of the mat and put my knees on it. And then little bit by little bit, take the knees apart. So we want to have the blanket underneath the knees to keep them from being overstretched. There we go. And once you feel you're in the right spot, try to bring the big toes together behind you. And just rock your hips forward a little bit and rock them back. And so go really slowly. This is a big inquiry into the inner thighs. So don't go fast and don't push too hard. If it feels too much, back up, bring the knees a little closer. But just rocking the hips forward and back. Really viscerally feeling those inner lines in your legs. And feeling the various connections into the hips. All right. Bring your knees back together. Just take a pause here with your knees still on your blanket or your towel, but knees together, and fold over into child's pose. And just again, noticing those parts as we did at the beginning. So noticing your low back, your mid back, your shoulders. And also noticing the sides of your body. So maybe wiggle the hips a little left and right. Maybe still feeling the aftermath of the inner thigh work. And feeling the outer hips. And then take an inhale and bring yourselves back up. Just take your blankets off the mat. Walk yourselves up into downward facing dog. And putting the sides back together, and then just walk your feet ahead and roll up to standing up. I'm just going to open this window up. Getting a little hot. So standing with your feet underneath your hips, so mountain pose. Roll the shoulders up and back and down, and just set your foundations, maybe wiggling your toes a little bit. And then slide your hands down your legs, come right over into a forward fold. Let the head come down, so we're hanging, holding onto your legs. And then take both hands to the outside of your right leg, wherever you're at. It could be your thigh, your knee, your calf. And use the hands to help you rotate your upper body towards the right. And you probably feel sensation pick up in the hamstrings, but maybe a little bit in the sides of the legs too. And then come back and over to your left leg. And again, use the hands to help you rotate. And if this is accessible to anyone, come back to the center. We'll take the arms behind your legs, hold onto your hands, and maybe grab your opposite elbows, and just hold yourself tightly to your legs. You could be holding on with your hands and get the same sensation. Trying to straighten the knees. And then look ahead, bend your knees, roll up to standing up. Come on up to the top of your mat. And we'll take a step back with your right leg, straight back from the hip, coming into pyramid pose. So the legs are straight, hips are square to the front. Hold your hands on your hips, roll the shoulders into your back, and then lean over that left leg, keeping the knees straight and your back very neutral. So looking forward, shoulder blades into your back. Inhale, lift up a little. Exhale, fold a little. So leading with your chest, squeezing the shoulders back, and adding some tension into your mat. So pull back with your right foot, push ahead with the left. And just pulse in and out of that. See if you can maybe get a little closer to your leg each time. And then stay in the depth of this and take both hands to the outside of your left thigh. So same idea, hold on with both hands and then look to the left and maybe deepen the twist to the left. And really feel the sides working. So the side of your left leg, the side of your right ribs. And if you want to go a little step further, you can take that right hand to your leg or the mat and take the left arm up to the left. Whatever amount. Hand can stay on your hip. And then we'll look forward, bend your left knee, and bring yourself back up. Stepping back up with your right foot. That doesn't look like much, but boy, there's a lot going on there. So let's do the other side. Step your left foot back. You want to make sure your feet are hip width apart so you're not tightrope balancing. And then try to get the hips square. The left hip is going to want to open to the left, but try to keep it pulling forward. Roll the shoulders into your back and forward bend over your right thigh. And again, the knees stay straight. Come into your edge where you're feeling a lot of sensation and then pulse away from it. Lift up as you breathe in, fold towards it as you breathe out. It's really tempting for the shoulders to want to round here. So keep your awareness there that you're squeezing into your back. And notice that left hip. If it's trying to swivel out to the left, keep pulling it forward. Next time you're down in the depth of that, take both hands to the outside of your right leg, look to the right, and then deepen the twist to the right, whatever amount. If you like, maybe reaching the right arm up or not. Use your toes. And then look forward, bend your right knee, and bring yourselves back up to the top. Oh, okay. So let's kind of build on all this side work. A couple of sun salutations. Back up to the top of your mat. Inhale to pick the arms or shoulders up and back and down. And then inhale again and lengthen up. And just stay here for a moment and wiggle. Lift up more with one arm and then the other, letting your hips sway side to side. Again, just getting into the sides of your hips, your IT band, your ribs. And get back in the middle. Exhale, come into your forward fold. Inhale, look ahead. Exhale, place the hands and come back into plank. Inhale, shift forward, elbows tight against your sides as you lower halfway. And then open into upward dog. Rolling back into downward dog. So we'll look ahead, step the right foot up to the top of the mat. Bring yourself up and plant your left heel down, coming into warrior two. So take the arms wide and just toe heel the feet a little further apart if that's accessible to you. Just really sinking in, checking that right knee that it's right over your foot. And really opening the inner thighs. And then we'll bring the arms down, take your right arm down onto your right thigh and start to straighten the right leg. And we're moving now towards triangle. So opening that left shoulder up to the sky, reaching the left arm up. If you need to back up a little bit, make that more doable. If you need to shorten your stance, you can. But otherwise, really opening up the left side. Good. And you can stay in your triangle, or if you'd like, come with me into half moon. So I'm going to bend that right knee again, bring the left hand down, toe heel my left foot forward, take my right hand forward on the floor, torso length ahead, and a little bit out to the right. Lifting that left leg, opening up the left shoulder. And then we'll retrace our steps. So just visualize yourself landing in triangle, bend your right knee, bring the left foot down, open yourself up into triangle, really feeling the sides. And then toe heel the left foot back and come down into warrior two. Inner thigh. Good. Windmill the arms forward, bring yourself down and into downward facing dog. Looking forward, step the left foot up to the top of the mat. Bring yourself up, plant your right heel down, toe heel it back. You want to make sure the heels are in line with each other. Yeah, open the arms wide, look over your left hand and just sinking in. Just play with that edge. So I'm really feeling a lot of sensation in this left inner thigh, and I'm feeling a response too in my right inner thigh. A lot of things working. Arms just floating. And then bring your arms down, right or left arm comes onto the left thigh, and start to straighten the left leg, moving towards triangle. So opening up with the left, inner left thigh and reaching up with your right arm. Whew. Again, you can shorten the stance if that feels better. And you can stay in your triangle and just continue to play with those edges, or hop forward a little bit with that right foot. Take your left hand down to the floor, reaching the right leg up, opening up with the right arm. Pushing out with your right foot. And then retracing our steps, we're going to come back into triangle. So maybe bend your left knee, land the right foot, and open up to the side. And really feel sensation up this right side. Notice too what's happening up the left side. And of course, everything that's going on in the legs. And then bending your left knee and floating up into warrior two, which suddenly doesn't feel as dramatic as those other two poses did. Sinking in. And then release. Windmill the hands forward, lift yourself back into downward dog. Okay, look to your hands, walk or hop your feet up to the top of the mat. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up and releasing your arms down. One more round here. Inhale, big sweep up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen, look ahead, and exhale down and into plank. Inhale, shift forward, exhaling down. Opening into upward dog. Rolling back to downward dog. Once again, stepping the right foot up to the top of the mat. Bring yourself up and just float up from the bottom and come into triangle right away. Reaching up, side bending. Good. Inhale, bring yourself up. You're going to take your left foot a little further to the left, so step a little wider. Turn to face that end of the mat and square the hips, shoulders into your back. And forward fold here, coming into pyramid again. And adding that tug into the mat, right foot's pushing forward, left foot's pushing back. Shoulders into your back. And then we'll come into the twist, so left hand coming to the outside of the right leg. Use the hand to help you turn, looking to the right. Maybe just keeping the left hand on your leg, or if you can get down to the mat, or if you have a block, that could be handy too. And then maybe reaching up with your right arm. Trying to square the chest towards the right. And then release, bring your hands to the mat, press back into downward dog. Bringing the sides back together. Look ahead, step your left foot forward. And then bring yourself up into triangle. So lifting up, building it from the ground up, straightening the left knee, opening up with the right arm. Both legs straight. Shoulders into your back. Bring your hands down. We'll take a little hop forward with the right leg, taking it a little further to the right so your feet are hip width apart. Squaring your hips to the front, shoulders into your back, moving towards pyramid. Leaning forward. Left leg is straight. And try to keep that right hip pulling forward. All these compensations that our bodies just do without checking with us first. They just try to modify to be more comfortable. Stay down in the depth of this. Take the right hand to the outside of the left leg. Both hands can be on that leg. Or maybe just secure the right hand on the leg or on the mat or on a block, and then take your left hand to your hip, turning to the left, feeling the side ribs, reaching up with your left arm. Really finding the IT band on that left leg. And release. Bring the hands down, back into your downward dog, pedaling your legs. And then bring yourselves down into child's pose again, just resetting. It can be knees together or apart, folding back. Letting yourself soften into that shape. Using the opportunity to calm your heart now. So taking deeper breaths in and out. We'll stay in your child's pose, but lift up and take your arms off the mat to the right. Just straighten the arms ahead. And then sink back into it. And then look up, walk across your mat and off to the left. And then back into the middle. Bring yourself up, let your head come up last. And transition to laying down on your back again. It's rolling down. Maybe hug your knees for a moment. Build a little heat with that practice. And then let's check in. So take your legs down, take your arms overhead, and we'll side bend to the right. So lift your shoulders, take the shoulders and the arms towards the right side of your mat. Take your legs over to the right side, hooking the left leg on top. Maybe holding onto your left arm with your right hand. And just breathe into the side body. Now, this may feel just as intense as at the start, but it could be that you're a little deeper in the side bend. So just noticing sensation here. And then come on back into the middle of the mat. Whew. Build it the other way, shifting your shoulders and arms to the left, feet to the left. And just appreciating the right side of your body. Feeling all those physical things, the connective tissue, the muscles, the joints, the ribs. Knowing that we're connecting in deeper levels too by stimulating the sides of our body through our meridians, and which brings healing to our organs and also our nervous system. Apparently the nerves in our spinal column also like movement. They like a little bit of space. And so all this side bending that we've been doing has been stimulating that too. And then bring yourselves back into the middle of the mat. Bend your knees and put your feet wide on the sides of the mat. And we'll just do the slow knee sways, taking the knees to one side as you breathe out. Maybe take the arms up overhead again. That feels like there's more connection there. And then inhale and bring the knees back up, and exhale, go the other way. And just, feeling the quads, but maybe feeling the outer quad and the IT bend. Moving with your breath. And then finish that up. We'll draw the knees back into your body, come into a little ball here. Bringing the sides back together. And let's keep holding the right knee and let your left leg go down, just hugging the right knee close. And begin to explore taking the knee further to the right and finding that inner thigh. And then bring the knee back up and take it across your body, just far enough till you feel the side of your leg and your glutes. Move back and forth through that, bringing the knee close, taking it out to the right till you find that tight bit. Back in towards you, and then across to the left. Let's do that 2 or 3 more times. Just finding the tight parts on the inner thigh and the outer hip, pausing to give them a chance to adapt. And maybe noticing any change. And then let that go. Just let your right leg go down on the mat. Both legs down, and just notice the quality of your right side. And then we'll draw the left knee in. Give it a good squeeze. And begin that exploration on the left hip. So taking the left knee a little more out to the left until you find that really strong connection into the adductor. That's the inner thigh. So these terms, adductor and abductor, are used quite loosely. The easiest way I know to remember is adduct, which is your inner thighs. It's where you add or bring the legs together. So that's your adductor, ADD. And abduct is to take away. So that's your outer thigh, ABD. Let's go a couple more times each way. And then we'll let that go and let both legs go down on the mat again, and just take a moment to settle for Shavasana. So you might want to put a blanket under your knees or tuck the blanket underneath your neck. And just settling yourself here. Make any tiny adjustment to feel a little more comfortable so that you can relax more easily. Giving ourselves these 5 or so minutes at the end of practice to integrate everything that we've done, allowing the body to do that work, the mind letting go for a moment, and just allowing the body's own wisdom to bring everything back together, to assimilate. And maybe for a few rounds, work with your square breath again, but try to soften the corners. Just allowing your body to be soft and easy, laying on your mat. And feeling that passage of air in the square breath, the rounded corner square breath. So inhale, gently moving into the pause, and then the pause, gently moving into the exhale. Sliding through that pause at the bottom. Rolling up on the inhale again. And so this is a cycle. It's a circuit. We have millions of these in our beings, in our bodies, in our minds. Just being aware of this very foundational pattern of the breath. Noticing how easy that can be to just slide from one part to the next. Couple more rounds of breath here. Just letting this smooth and easy flow of breath cue everything else in our bodies to become more synchronized, more harmonious, calmer, efficient. And then little bits at a time, begin to bring some energy back into your body, maybe wiggling the toes, circling the ankles and the wrists. Moving when you're ready into any other shape that feels helpful. Maybe coming into the shape where the arms are overhead and the legs are down, and doing some side bends again. Maybe drawing your knees in, hug your knees. Make your way up to sitting up. Very aware of the sides, but also having kind of physically experienced that sense of a circuit rolling from one side to the other. Maybe just drawing awareness to that as you go through your day today, finding pleasure in the pauses in the journey, not just in the end result. So, even doing the dishes, making the bed, any tasks that you need to do, just finding that sense of flow. Yeah. So thank you for joining me on the mat today. And I hope your practice has blessed you and got your day off to a great start. Namaste.